the discussion went to different items. One was about attachments and detachments. Here is a question about that, and we'd like to ask some clarification. Yes. Jordan?
Good morning, Dr. Hora.
Hello.
As the question was, of attachment become apathy, apathy having a negative connotation.
Yes. And what is the question?
That whereas lack of attachment would seem to be a desirable state and give peace, apathy would seem to be negative and would mean lack of feeling and
passionlessness. Apathy means passionlessness. Does that stump you?
I'm thinking about that speciallessness.
Not speciallessness. Passionlessness, without passion.
Oh, yes, right.
Apathy,
Without feeling,
without passion.
without suffering.
No, it is just not giving a damn.
Is that bad?
Well, it's not a pleasant state to be in, because life doesn't mean much unless we have a certain appreciation of something. If we appreciate nothing, if we're not interested in anything, not even God, now that is like being dead, being spiritually dead.
Therefore, one would know that lack of attachment to material things, that seeking God or being here for God, can never become apathy or passionless.
That is correct. That's why it's so important to constantly study and be mindful that to be healthy and happy in life, we must be consciously here for God. And we have to be passionately here for God, which means gratefully and with enthusiasm and interest.
Thank you, Dr. Hora.
You're welcome.
Good morning, Dr. Hora. This is Jim.
Hello, Jim.
I asked this question of the group here before we got on the telephone, and they suggested that I asked you also. 2 days ago, one of my bank accounts was attached for non-payment of state taxes, which I filed that I owed but did not pay. And when that happened, I immediately went into this mental process of saying, well, okay, that's just the outside world. It does not affect me. It does not have to cause me to lose my peace of mind, et cetera, et cetera. And I said all the proper things to myself. And the following day, I woke up with a backache, which was very severe. Now, I have a sense that the two items are definitely connected. And I asked myself, what is the meaning of what seems to be?
Yes.
I think that because I am so attached to the situation that, and maybe filled with knowledge, not in that space of not knowing, I did not get any clear answer to the question.
Yeah.
But I wonder what you would like to say about that.
Well, the meaning of the backache probably is that you feel persecuted. This was done behind your back, this attachment of your funds, by the IRS, I presume, right?
No, actually, it was a state agency, the state sales tax.
State. Well, you feel persecuted, and that's what the pain is saying, that you are angry at them for persecuting you behind your back.
I think that's correct.
All right, so if it is correct, how are you going to heal your backache?
By letting go of the idea that I'm persecuted.
That's correct.
And also by moving to a position of seeing that that the outcome of this is beneficial.
Yes, it will teach you to be more responsible and alert to the various financial obligations which you incur in the course of your life. It's very important to be responsible, not to neglect or overlook things, and so be always in the clear, and to budget ourselves and manage our finances prudently and with integrity.
This, without dwelling on this, this brings up another issue that something that happened at the beginning of the year, which to me is still a present situation because I have not spiritually resolved it, and it's all tied together. I was involved with another patient in a business dealing that did not end up paying. And what actually happened was the money that should have paid the taxes was never given to me. And so I used the money I had set aside for taxes to pay other bills. And I can see that these two are definitely connected. I'm not even sure how I would formulate the question, but I think I need to come to some clarity on an issue that have a common the common denominator within them.
But the important thing is that you know that you are not personally persecuted. Nobody has it in for you. It is just a situation which teaches you a lesson about financial responsibility and integrity and prudence. That's all, and your backache will disappear once you are at peace with the taxing agency. Make peace with, the Bible says, agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Could you explain that a little further, Dr. Hora, that agree with the adversary? I can't stand up if he's clearly you're saying. What good does that do?
Well, you have to see his point of view. You learn to look at the situation from the perspective of the adversary. And you will find that he's not really an adversary. Maybe things look differently from his perspective. And then you can come to an agreement, and you don't have to feel persecuted. If you have been negligent or dishonest, then you'll correct it, and you don't have to carry a grudge. You don't have to get a backache or any other pain or sickness from harboring thoughts of persecution and conflict. It is a very wise saying from the Bible, which nowadays would be called conflict resolution.
Yes.
Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, while there is still space for communication.
Yeah, now it shows that if we have a disagreement, and we would consider what the other person's viewpoint is,
Yeah.
and it would always resolve our viewpoint.
Yes, that will result in healing of the discord.
Oh. I can't think of an example, but I can think that you might have a situation that you think that you are right and the other sees it wrong.
Yeah.
Would we give up our viewpoint and rights to do?
Well, it is very foolish whenever we think that we are right. We are dealing with issues and not personal opinions.
I see.
And when we clarify the issues, then the situation will get healed because there is no personality involved. We have to be issue-oriented.
See, the problem is the ego,
That's right.
the personal.
Yes, when you think you are right.
The problem is not the issue.
It's always the issue, not the personal opinions and feelings and viewpoints. But we have to look at issues in a non-personal way and look at it from both sides and clarify the issues, and then the situation can be healed. We are not interested in being right. We are interested in harmony and truth.
Yes.
And fairness.
Thank you, that clarifies it.
You're welcome.
No?
Hello, Dr. Hora. This is John.
Yes, John.
I have a question about losing interest in fantasy.
Yes.
We're talking about lasses and lasses that are good. And I went to see a movie last night, and I thought it was kind of a safe movie. It was a Western. But it turned out to be romantic, and I was interested in watching myself watch the movie. There was a little girl that had a dog that was killed, and I found myself crying. And there, she had an experience where she was being attacked by some men, and I could feel myself being very fearful. And the whole movie was an experience.
Yes.
And I was trying to see, when I watch a movie like that, is it that I'm imagining myself in that place and getting self-inflammatory pleasure that way, or
That's right.
I'm imagining myself as my dad been being killed and I feel sad, and it's me being attacked and I'm afraid. And
That's why people go to movies, to identify with the hero or heroine and to feel what they feel.
yeah,
And that is called entertainment.
yeah. I was noticing, so it's really, I guess it's happened that time, I never known it. Every time a bad guy was killed, the audience would laugh.
Yes.
You'd see the terrible violent death, and everybody's laughing.
Yes, right.
It's sort of, again, it's a personal experience of winning, or the excitement of feeding a bad guy or something.
Yes. Gratifying the vindictive impulses.
I can't hear you. Could you do it again?
Gratifying the vindictive impulses.
Yeah. I was seeing it, I was wondering if that's really an analogy for the way that I see my life. I imagine that that what it seems to be my life is me.
that your experiences are you.
Yes, in the same way I watch a movie, I watch these experiences and I make the mistake of thinking it's me. Is that right?
That's an excellent point, because you can see what experiences are. Experiences are daytime dreams. At night we dream in pictures, and during the day we dream in experiences. And when we want to have more experiences, we go to the movies and watch television. Of course, that's an unenlightened way to go to the movies and an unenlightened way to watch television.
What is a better way?
A better way is to observe the process without letting it come into our experience. Being a transcendent observer.
It was interesting. Also, I was thinking that the movie is a very popular movie, and movies love to reflect popular fantasies. The fantasy of the tall romantic man that comes into town and rescues the town, and the women fall in love with him, and then he leaves.
Yes. And then the women mourn.
I'm sorry, I missed that one.
Then the women mourn.
Yeah, how did they do it? They felt terrible. And they settled with the men that were there.
Ah.
Try to settle for them, but it really is a reflection of cultural ideas about what's good, too.
Yes, of course.
I have another question, just briefly. When you were talking about agree with an adversary, and the resist not evil came to mind. How is that different? What does resist not evil mean?
Well, if you resist evil, you are engaging in a wrestling match with evil. And you are then honoring evil as a reality. And then you become evil yourself.
By being involved.
By being involved with evil as the reality.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Dr. Hora.
You're welcome. Joan, may I just remind you, are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you.
The full quotation is, resist not evil, but overcome evil with good.
Oh, yes. That sounds like the important part.
Right. Not frequently quoted.
And there are two references to this. This is one from Paul, I think. And then in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus also talks about not resisting evil, and then goes on with saying, turn the other cheek, and if someone asks you to walk a mile, walk another one.
Yes.
So that seems to be in the same vein.
Yes. Well, what is the other cheek, which is not the evil cheek? There is an evil cheek and there is a good cheek.
Good cheek.
There is somebody shows you an evil cheek, you show them a good cheek.
Is that what it means?
And then there is dancing cheek to cheek.
This one is Deborah. Hi, Dr. Hora Taylor.
Hi, Taylor. What are you doing there?
To say that I have always misunderstood that part, the Bible that says that about turning the other cheek, and it seems to imply a certain almost apathy, but
Would you speak a little louder?
seems to imply a certain, it's something, it's an area that I haven't understood. It seems to imply a certain apathy or weakness. Milk toast, yeah.
They're not resisting evil,
No, the turning the other cheek.
turning the other cheek.
I'm
Yeah.
wondering, the cheek. It seems as though I think about missing something. I don't think he's saying see it milk toast. And what is it that I'm missing there?
Well, most people don't understand this quotation because they have a tendency to read it literally. Whereas Jesus speaks in symbolic terms, it's symbolic language. The cheek, the face, expresses certain values. Now, if somebody is manifesting aggressive and hostile values towards you, then you have to counter it with loving and intelligent values. So you turn a different cheek than the one that is being shown you. That's the only way it makes sense. Because he certainly wasn't recommending masochism or provocativeness.
It's helpful, Dr. Ward. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Ward, this is George again.
George?
Uh,
All right.
The question that you answered for Jim that talked about the importance of being responsible and prudent.
Yes.
I'm going through a phase in my life right now where I'm becoming detached from material things. And I have to question that once in a while. I'm waiting for my higher self to give me the answers to my new direction in life. But then at other times I feel that perhaps maybe I'm being a little irresponsible and not prudent as far as conducting my business activities.
Yes.
I'm sure my mother would tell me that were the case.
Yes.
And maybe that's what I'm worried about. I'm not sure.
Now, well, what exactly do you mean by detaching yourself from material things?
That I'm not placing a lot of importance on things such as house and car and work.
Do you think that is a virtue from a spiritual standpoint? Or that God will appreciate that?
I'm looking upon it as a test of my trust in God. And then I question whether, at times, whether I'm deluding myself and being irresponsible.
Absolutely. The issue is not abandoning material objects and means which are necessary for effective living, but not placing primary importance on them. The issue results into a question of priorities. Now, the first principle of metapsychiatry says, thou shalt have no other interest before the good of God, which is spiritual. Now, the good of God is our first priority. Spiritual values are our first priority, but it doesn't mean that we are going to walk barefoot and become beggars and live in the streets. and have absolutely no possessions. You see, having possessions is not the same as being possessive of them, but grateful and appreciative of them. There is a tradition in Christianity which is a mistaken one, namely the vow of poverty. God doesn't require us to be poor. There is no virtue in being poor, because when you are spurning cars and homes and money and clothes, you are being materialistic. Because whether you cherish material possessions or despise them, you're equally materialistic. So poverty is no spiritual virtue whatsoever.
Thank you, Dr. Hora.
You're welcome.
This is Georgiana.
Yes, Georgiana.
And this past week, I have been looking at, trying to look more closely at some of my attachments to the material world.
Yes.
And in looking at some ideas I have about health and healthy living that I was aware of, is that I see some laws of health, for example, exercising and how much to eat, as being absolute laws. Yeah. Right, how much I weigh, how much I work out. It's kind of being absolute laws of living. And what occurred to me is that these laws are all transcended by spiritual ideas.
Yes.
And what I was wondering is, how do I incorporate the two, or how do I have daily living considering these ideas that always going beyond to the spiritual idea?
Yes. Well, the Bible says that the body is the temple of God. And you have to take good care of your body, just as if you were in charge of a cathedral or a church.
Okay.
What would you do if you were in charge of a church building? You would see to it that it's always in perfect condition, right?
Right.
Clean and healthy and good repair, because in this church, in this building, this temple, God is being honored and worshipped, right? So you treat your body as the temple of God and take good care of it, because that is a place where God's presence manifests itself all the time. Is that clear?
Yeah. So I'd like maybe to understand something I'm experiencing with this. I had the testing done to determine how much I should weigh according to the latest, health standard. Ever since I've had the testing done, I keep eating more, I keep exercising more, and so far I've gained 14 pounds. So I'm wondering, what is the meaning of this?
You got intimidated.
Oh.
And you are now afraid. And you are calming yourself with food, using food as a tranquilizer.
Okay. So when you say I got intimidated, what do you mean?
Well, when you listen to medical opinions, then you get scared. Most people are intimidated by medical diagnosis.
Okay.
And there are various anxiety reactions connected with it, which aggravate whatever problem people had to begin with.
Okay. So what do I need to know then? And I guess to go beyond it.
But you don't have to accept the prevailing standards of how much you should weigh and how much you should eat and how much you should exercise. You just have to know what your physical body means, what its purpose is.
Okay.
And God will give you the wisdom to take good care of this temple. But you are not that temple, you know. You're just a caretaker of the temple. If you would like, you could call yourself a janitress.
Okay. I just get to take care of it, but it's not really mine.
And it's not really you either.
Okay. So then it's again still transcending the ideas that are on the human level.
Of course.
Thank you, Dr. Hora. That was helpful.
Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is the good and acceptable, perfect will of God.
I think that would help a lot.
Right.
Yana says the janitress still continue to do aerobic.
There's nothing wrong with aerobics if you don't take it so too seriously.
I don't.
Yeah.
We talked this morning about a category called undesirable trait. And there's an undesirable trait that I recently become aware of that I would like to lose, and that's sarcasm. I find that I suffer from that a great deal. Find that I recently become aware of being sarcastic, and I would like to help with that.
Yeah. But usually other people suffer from our sarcasm. What is sarcasm, Jay? What do you think? What is it?
I call it a smart mouth.
A smart mouth?
Mouthing off.
Yeah. What is hostility? Did you know that it is hostility?
I considered it, but I haven't faced it.
Yeah. You don't like to face it?
No.
Well, sarcasm will be healed when you understand that it is a verbal way of expressing disguised hostility. And it benefits no one. And your purpose in life is to express spiritual love rather than hostility.
What would be helpful in faith?
Well, ask yourself, what is hostility? What is the source of hostility?
What comes to my mind is not getting what I want.
Exactly, Jay. That's correct. So when you understand that, when you are aware of your thoughts, then you can be healed of it. The sarcasm will disappear, and instead there will be gentleness and love and freedom, benevolence, goodwill. You don't have to change other people, Jay. You let them be.
That to also not resisting. That I don't need to resist what they want.
That's right. Neither resist nor give in, but be aware and alert and transcend personal conflict by being issue-oriented.
Thank you, Dr. Hora.
You're welcome.
Dr. Hora?
Yes.
With Tricia?
Yes, Tricia.
Recently I've had a lot of trouble with work horsemen. And I've been, I take care of personnel at work. And I have been envious of what other people make and feel unfairness for other employees, but mostly it really gets to me when it comes to me.
Yes.
And I was reading this morning the parable of the laborers, and I don't understand it.
Yes.
Could you explain it?
Well, these were not ordinary laborers like our union workers in the United States. The Bible speaks of laborers in God's vineyard. Do you know what that symbolism means?
No.
God's vineyard is the world. When we are here for God, we are instruments of God, and we work to manifest God. And whether you start working for God at the age of 12, or 25, or 37, or 56, or 70, your pay will be the same. What is the pay which we receive from laboring in the vineyard?
I think PAGL.
That's correct. So there is no need to compare. If you are troubled by envy, jealousy, rivalry, and malice, it is a sign that you keep comparing yourself to other people. And you see yourself coming out unfavorably. But if you know how to be here for God as a unique manifestation of His love and intelligence and power, then all things will work together for good in your life in an individually unique way, and you will see that there is no basis for comparison between people. And you will not be tormented by the four horsemen.
And it was really coming to a head yesterday. I listened to the tape on envy and gratitude and heard some things that I hadn't heard before, and one was thinking about that we have a personal mind.
Yes.
I really can't get over that thing.
Well, you don't have to get over this. You just have to discover that God is your mind.
How do I discover that God is my mind?
By studying metapsychiatry.
Well, then I get them on the right track.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Hora,
Yes?
this is John.
Yes, John?
You can see, you can think to see that God is your mind by watching each day. I was thinking of, for the past several months, I've been doing work every day bookkeeping. And I'm really not a bookkeeper. I've never been particularly interested. It just was some work that needed to be done. And it seems when I do something that I'm not familiar with and I have never told myself that I know how to do it or had that knowledge or understanding, that it seems apparent sometimes in being directed towards where a mistake is, or that by paying attention to the fact that I don't know, but the work is being done, and I can see that God is my mind.
That is correct, John.
And by watching and being interested in seeing that, I've become apparent in all kinds of little ways, like remembering things that need to be done.
Right.
Or just by paying attention to wanting to see, I guess.
Yeah. You discover that intelligence is a constantly flowing gift.
Yeah.
And it flows into consciousness from the divine mind. And when you have a clear awareness of the fact that God is your mind.
Yeah. It's even worth it to do this, you think?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Dr. Hora?
Yes?
Marjorie?
Yes, Marjorie.
Something's come to my attention lately, and I'm kind of concerned about it. 5 years ago, my brother died, and since that time, his family has chosen, I guess, not to have me be a part of the family anymore. And, of course, I think I have been apathetic about it. Kind of, for the last 4 years, not really caring and just figuring it was their problem. And also another side of my family, after my mother died a couple of years ago, my aunt and uncle, her sister, had kind of chosen to ignore me. It seems like it. And my cousin of that family, too. And recently, I got an invitation to a 50th wedding anniversary this summer, and was asked to respond, instead of mailing gifts, to write down some good memories of the past. And of course, at this time when I got this invitation, my first response was, of all the horrible, terrible things they had done to me while I was growing up, abuses and just a lot of stuff things that I seem to have got, from them when I was growing up. And I was surprised at how angry I was still with this particular part of the family. And as I responded to this invitation, I was kind of grateful because the date of the invitation was on the same date that our conflict was going to be. So I was grateful that I didn't have to deal with going, and I could sincerely say I couldn't make it. But then I knew I needed to respond to this, would you write down a good memory? And I was troubled because I could see how angry I still was. And I had thought I had gone through some aspect of forgiveness. And I suddenly realized that I was still very angry with everybody that would still be, I guess, a family, some family left. And at how they have mistreated me. So at the time, I was suddenly, I don't know what occurred, but I suddenly realized that there was some good memories and that I could write down sincerely that I was very grateful for the beauty that I did experience as a child at both of the homes that this aunt and uncle had. There were some very beautiful aspects of that part. So I just thanked them. I wasn't specific. I just wrote down that I was grateful for having been able to live at a home in, they have 2 homes up north that are very beautiful, and I was able to live there at different times throughout my life. And yet I'm still troubled very much by the last week. I wasn't aware of how troubled I was until this morning when we had this conference, by the fact that I feel guilty at having been so apathetic in the last 4 years, and also at having not my motivation is very poor. I've considered calling my nephew, who I haven't heard from in 3 years. I've considered writing a note to my niece. I received an invitation to a graduation from a niece. And it wasn't really an invitation to come to the graduation, it was really an announcement. And at that time I was somewhat hurt by that. And I considered writing a note congratulating her, and I didn't. And I'd like to understand the meaning of recently, in the last week or so, feeling guilty or not. I can see that motivation thing, that it's not helpful to respond to anything just because I feel guilty. But I would like some help to get over this hurdle, and I'd like to understand what I could do to respond sincerely, and what more is needed to really get over this feeling of anger and resentment and hurt that I have. I guess has ended up in myself for the last 4 years.
Yes. Well, Marjorie, who are we benefiting when we forgive?
It would seem that we would be benefiting everyone. Ourselves, but
so if it is to your benefit,
pardon me?
if it is to your benefit to forgive, wouldn't it be wise to forgive?
Yes.
All right, here is a beautiful opportunity for you to forgive and set yourself free from the unconscious bitterness that you've been carrying around within you for all these years. You'll be doing yourself a favor by forgiving.
When I work on forgiveness in any aspect, when every once in a while, not real often, but it'll come to me that forgiveness is needed, I find that I get a little stuck. I say to myself that forgiveness is separating the ignorance of the individual from what they really are.
That's right.
And I don't know, but it seems as if the understanding does not come into my awareness. Intellectually, that sounds very good, and I know I've said it many times, but obviously it seems as if I don't understand or something, because there's still a block, and I still revert often back to the resentment rather than letting it go.
Or perhaps you enjoy feeling sorry for yourself.
Yes, you mentioned that before. Yeah, I was thinking of this before I asked the question or chose to speak up. I was thinking that it seems as if the whole idea comes across for Marjorie.
Right. Well, self-pity is the swamp of self-confirmatory ideation.
So to begin to even get out of this quagmire of self-pity, then forgiveness is still what is needed.
Of course. And it's very interesting that those people are really asking you to forgive them.
Yeah, I realized when you just said that, in getting that information from my cousin, that revealed that also, and also my niece sending the invitation or the announcement.
That's right.
And over time, instead of seeing that clearly like you just made it so now, I immediately thought of the resentment instead of seeing this as an invitation.
That's right. It's a plea for forgiveness.
There's been other instances like this in the past 4 years too, and I never realized until just now. I'm very grateful for this. Thank you.
You're welcome, Margie.
Dr. Hora? Dr. Hora?
Yes.
Marjorie, situation, a perfect example of turning the other cheek.
That's right. That's right, Bill. You're absolutely right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Hora, I have a question about forgiveness. And this is John.
Yes, Joan.
And you're working with forgiveness, and thinking about what you were saying to Marjorie, an incident came to mind. I was in a coffee shop yesterday, and I was sitting across from a family, 2 women, an older woman and obviously her daughter, and then 2 grandchildren. And the 2 women seemed to be bullying the children. They were, the little kids were sitting there not eating their meal, and the grandmother was very grumpy and crabby at them and kept telling them to eat and to be quiet and to behave, and just a constant barrage. And I saw it at first as an opportunity to hear something different, to try to see the truth of their being and the truth of all of our being. And the way they went on, the angry I was getting at the grandmother. And I could not see, I just couldn't seem to get beyond that. And I'm wondering what I was missing, how I went wrong. Afterwards I could see that I was kind of identifying with a little kid.
Yes.
And feeling like somehow just like watching a movie, I was feeling badly about being bullied. And here was this crabby old lady that wasn't appreciating this beautiful child. But how could I have seen that differently? I missed something.
You have to get out of the cinema.
But what would I have had to see instead?
You would be observing ignorance.
Rather than ignorance being done to me.
Right, of course. And ignorance is a dream. A movie is a dream too. And the Bible says, awake thou that...
And I was once again sort of imagining it happening to me, and that's why I lost it.
That's right, that's right.
I see. Thank you.
Dr. This is Michael.
Yes, Michael.
Recently, the part-time job that I had working at the children's school, and they didn't have sufficient enrollment, so they didn't have sufficient need for me. I was hoping that you could shed some light on the meaning of that and tell me what's needed to turn it into a profitable loss.
Well, you had an experience. How would you characterize the experience?
In figures.
That's how you characterize it.
I think so.
All right, so that means that you must have had similar experiences before.
Yes.
Is that what you are implying?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the meaning of your repeated experience?
There's some type of fantasy that I'm not seeing.
That you are not wanted, that you are not appreciated, that you are disposable.
Built it like a diaper.
Like a diaper. All right. Perhaps what you need is a more valid concept of your self-identity.
I wouldn't have.
Beg your pardon?
Thank you.
Dr. Taylor, now that we're sort of hit that identity issue, it kind of occurred to me in the agent situation. Is it possible that in terms of the one that had not worked out, which is at the 2 now, that it has to do with that I am inviting it's not like a loss I'm inviting until I understand a lesson that I need to understand about identity, about having a correct identity, that I am inviting people who would not be helpful to me anyway.
Absolutely, Taylor. You know that. We spoke about this before.
Uh-huh.
You're approaching these situations with a wrong sense of your identity.
People are being losses because I'm still not yet invited to meet people that would be beneficial.
Where you still have not awakened from the dream of life with mother. You are not that girl.
That's a sidetrack issue then with man.
What?
And saying that that's a sidetrack then, looking upon it. That I'm inviting, in other words, not inviting people that are unhealthy to me until I separate from that identity.
Exactly. You go to these interviews, your true self, but the daughter of this particular woman that calls herself your mother. And you believe yourself to be what she was thinking about you. And you are not that individual. And you have to know yourself as a spiritual child of God, a living soul.
And once I understand that more fully, I won't be inviting my mother to be an agent then.
Of course, you have to wake up from the dream of life with mother.
Thank you, Dr. Wells.
You're welcome.
Dr. Hora, this is Michael.
Yes, Michael?
With an alarm clock, what would be helpful to wake up from that dream? I had a big issue that I just saw with my father.
You have a similar dream.
Yes.
Well, who are you? Did your parents give you life?
No.
Do your parents give you your intelligence and your capabilities? It is all from God. And unless you will know your true identity as derived from divine love, you will always attract the same experiences wherever you go. And the moment your sense of identity is changed, your entire life changes to the better, because that is what you really are, and the other is just a movie theater, a dream. Jesus said, I am come to set apart mother and daughter, sister and brother, father and son, etc. We have to be liberated from the parental fantasies which our parents have entertained about us, because they are a prison of limitation.
I had no idea the impact that had. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
This is the end of our seminar. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.